Rory, you've 1E. Keef. Keef.
F-E.
Sound. Do you have a pen there, by any chance?
Yep.
Just tick these off.
1 second there, Joe.
Sorry, dude. Dewan's not there, definitely. Thanks, buddy. So, Dewan, we go max for that. Dewan meta is select, no, cancel.
Time 25 minutes.
Devin Joyce. Devin Joyce. Kieran O'Reilly's out, so remove. Select. Max. Delete. Barry Costa, he's there already. Levine Ali isn't there, so who comes in for him? Oh, alright, let's go through. So I have. He's not in. Oh, yeah, Shiv. So since the last time, so he was dropped. That's what it says. Jack Bus. Okay, save that. Can't be live. Start scoring. Please stop the live stream before switching. League. Today's game decided to bowl first. Great game in store for us today. So the two openers for Cork Harlequins are Captain Matthew Brewster and Shivam Brewster, Zubair Hassan Khan, Adam Hickey, Rory O'Keefe, who's just returned back from America after a 5-6 year stint, Brandon Kruger, Shivam Kizze, Devin Joyce, Senan Jones, Max Egan, Barry Voslow and Jack Buss. And for the hosts, Cork County, it is Ross Durity, Cormac Hassett, Peter Barlow, Diarmid Carey, Abdul Gaffer, Sunil Gautam, Francois Moser, Harbizan Singh, and Siddiqui, Nabil Anjum, and Benjamin Morris. So I think we're nearly all set to go here. It looks like Siddiqui is going to open from the tennis club end. And Matthew Brewster, Williamson.
Yeah, good.
Big celebrations up in Eglantine the other day, was it, Ted?
No.
Why?
No, I mean it was you know, as we all said, it wasn't the way we wanted to win it, but we can't really control what went on with the weather, with other teams being, you know, rained off and us, you know, process it as won it. Interesting to see how this wicket plays actually, Joe. This is the wicket that we were supposed to play on Tuesday with the heat. A lot of water got on it, and we weren't able to play the match. Snorting. Said it's going to be interesting. I think. Thank you. I'm surprised there actually the umpires, because he did get hit in the head. It looks like that the umpires didn't go up and check.
Yeah,
it's kind of the standard protocol now.
Bit of a delayed reaction by the bowler there. Wicket even. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it probably the right shot based on what you'd imagine was the line, but again you probably look at the slowness of the wicket there that he hit it so far in front of square. Again, you're probably thinking now straight away, looking at the wicket. These are the kind of things that, I mean, I'm not out there and they could see it completely differently, but these are the kind of things that they need to be talking about now. All batters is that, you know, after how many balls?
10
balls.
10, 11 balls.
They need to have assessed now straight away. Power play is 35, a good total off the power play. It turned an awful lot. You know, we certainly batted hard. Go through.
And Kruger hits that huge 6 over the clubhouse, and I would assume that's into the tennis court car park.
Yeah, with all due respect, Joe, I think that's just bowling particularly slow at the moment.
Yeah. There's another dot.
There's just no pace coming off that. So like that was the quickest one that he's bowled. He's bowled it short. There's no pace off the wicket at all, and it's keeping down a little bit clearly from that end. Yeah, just not getting up at all. That was probably mid-stump high if it hit the wicket, so maybe playing off the back foot mightn't be the best option. They're managing the game, so they have to manage their risk a little bit better because of the 2 wickets after falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine they
looking to get off strike. Well defended. He had a good knock yesterday, Ted, 96.
Yeah, he did very well.
First game back in 6 years.
He kind of took his time initially just to kind of, get a feel for batting for the first time in 6 years, and then scored 78 off 25 balls, kind of behind point, off front or back foot.
And he goes again, and this time the
power play finish now. Fielders will go out. You got to get at least a run of ball for the next, at least.
So looks like Harbinger has coming from the River Lee side. Make a few adjustments in the field. Skipper Ross taking his time, making sure his field is perfect for the bowler. Looks like they've found the ball. That was very close to hitting the umpire.
Good throwing technique by Declan early there.
Absolutely.
Sign him up.
By Harbinger, good change ball, but Sundal Gutham is after it, and they'll pick up two. It looks like that.
And you bowl wicket to wicket, I think it'll be hard to score.
Right.
Depending on the length, obviously, but so I think if I think Matt Brewster hitting a boundary off Siddiqui in the first over, that's the way to go if you're going to look to access boundaries, or you hang back, and I think it's going to be hard to hit short balls for boundaries because of the lack of pace. Whereas like full tosses like Brandon hit that 6 or whatever, good position. If Harlequins were to get to 140, I think it'd be a decent achievement.
So Nabil coming on for his second.
But the same, to get his head down and run. He spent most of the time actually running and looking backwards.
Yeah.
As we say to the kids, have you ever seen Usain Bolt running forwards and looking backwards? It's not.
Keith comes out and defends that one. And Harjan has already 2 wickets off his 2 overs. Joyce tries to cut that. Back. Good. Yeah.
Do you know?
Interesting, no one has swept so far in the game, considering they've bowled 3 spinners. That could be out, and it's caught there by Jurity. Could be a little bit of frustration there by Devon Joyce.
Yeah, I think it was one of those ones where he was undecided whether to just hit it or hit.
2 balls remaining in this over.
I
must look into getting them key.
4, which means that you'll have 2 more. One way of Cork County Cork Harlequins potentially, getting their run rate up in the last 3, specifically targeting the short boundary from this end.
It's a very, very good over. Only 2 carry, but he manages to get Zubair on strike. 6 was a leg by. Delete the last delivery. Leg by. And that's well. The final man in for Cork Harlequins is Max Egan. But more importantly for Cork Harlequins, Zubair Hassan Khan, who's on 24, will have the strike. The last over. Big over coming up. Ball there by...
Because he was able to access wide long off that he offered up a bit of width.
Far better ball there by Siddiqui. He's a smooth operator, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just taking a bit of pace off.
136 for his commentary. He might come back, join us later. So we leave it there. $125 is incorrect. By Brand down the wicket, the over, and Cork County 3 without loss.
Yeah, I think you could even see there straight away. You know, the batters be crucial.
Cork County player. And that's bowled. Adam Hickey picks up his second.
Straight ball. General plan here would be...
Apologies for the interference with all.
They must be talking off topic at the moment. Very frustrating for you, Joe, to spend so much time setting up and then things dropping in and out.
Yeah. I've had it down here down the Mardyke before. And last time we had the summer festival on last year. Kind of ate it. I don't know.
You see Senan here clearly rolling his fingers over the ball. What to do is probably take some risks if they are going to go down that route off a straighter ball. Sometimes on a slow wicket and chance your arm. Worked for Siddiqui there, no doubt.
Yeah.
Bit of width there, which just he basically kind of used his head rather than trying too many variations. I think some of the youngsters these days try too much and see a turning deck.
On the same score at this stage of the game, that's just... Ross missed out there in a full toss.
Yeah, probably would have been better off just whacking it, to be honest with you. Clearly premeditated, but I think sometimes when you premeditate you need to have an option in reserve, and even if he just flipped it, it might have worked for him.
And it goes again. Required run rate at the moment, it's about 7.
Yeah, I think the key thing for County is managing that.
That's well hit into the air, but sorry, I missed that actually. Siddiqui again. That ends the power play. 27 for 3 off the 6 overs.
Yeah, I think if you said to Quins, would you be happy with that? They'd bite your arm off for it. So, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see now how, because boundaries are hard to come by, unless you're Zubair Khan. But I think again that there's your template. I think it's harder for your kind of touch players to knock it around because of the slowness of the wicket. So therefore, from a county perspective, it's kind of keeping hold of that run rate, not letting it get up gets that, that's okay. But if Quins
and Egan tries to, there will be overthrows here. It might go for a boundary. And this is what good bowling.
Well, he played it on. I'm not sure he had the length or the line to play that shot. I mean, it's one of his strengths, hitting kind of behind point through gully area. But I think sometimes a strength can be a weakness if you make incorrect decisions around when you use your skill. So a bit unlucky again, but it was the same. I think it was a ball that on a different wicket would have played into his hands because of the more pace and more bounce. But on this wicket, it's probably bouncing a good 6 to 12 inches lower than maybe it should have.
I don't think anybody's listening to us, Ted. Kruger chases the ball down to the commentary box. Picks it up. Is that 2 runs there?
Yeah, 2 to Deaky. Witt offered up again and in his own way, kind of West Indian style, off the back foot, hitting it through covers for 2.
Adam Hickey bowling his last over. Do you find that surprising that he's bowled through, Ted?
No, I think in these kind of games, if you can keep hold of the run rate, put pressure on, you're nearly bringing somebody on for the sake of bringing somebody on. He's in a bit of a rhythm. He's bowling well. He's controlling the run rate. I'm sure he'll be followed up by Brandon Kruger, who's a different type spinner again. But I think, it's okay. It's you want to keep control of this while you have it, I could be wrong, but I think this is the game here. I think this is the game. These two need to get a good chunk of that 88 runs required. Again, could be wrong.
And I haven't seen Francois bat yet.
What's that, Joe? Sorry?
I haven't seen Francois bat before. I don't know what he's like.
He's a left-hander. I like lefties. Lefties are their best.
Of course. Yourself being a left-hander.
Former left-hander.
Yeah, you still try anyway. How'd you do yourself yesterday? It's well struck. Oh! Half a peel there by Adam Hickey. But a very good over for him to finish off his spell. 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 12.
Yeah, it's pretty good in fairness. You can't argue with that. You can see where Matt's coming from. I think where Matt needs to be careful now here is you can fall into a trap of just leaving people on, and then you're bringing people on for 1 and 2 overs at crucial times. So I assume he's going to hold Senan and Zubair for the end. But if this is the game, it could be wrong. this wicket here, then do you bring one of your seamers back on, like a Zubair or a Senan on for an over, and see if you can prize one of these guys out? I think sometimes in T20 cricket, teams can get reactive. I think you can afford on a wicket like this to be a little bit reactive, i.e. just let the game, bowl straight and let the batters make mistakes. But I think it's always nice to see captains trying to get wickets by changing bowlers and fields.
There's an easy single there all the time.
Run rate creeping up ever so often, or ever so slightly now, and that is the thing that county are going to have to watch here, because 7.5 could become 8.5 and 9s very, very quickly. So,
being honest, you'd still back him even if you went to the last over for 12, even if there was 12 runs. You'd still back Cork County.
You would absolutely. But the issue is trying to get 9s if it does go up in the next few overs above 8s. Trying to get that on this wicket is going to be hard unless you take some risks. And by risks, I mean looking for boundaries.
Francois takes a step down the wicket, defends. It's just interesting between the two teams how Cork County rotated their bowlers. Quins are a bit more orthodox.
No, it's not orthodox. It's whatever suits your team at the time, I think, Good
bowling. That's well fielded by Max Egan and well run by Francois for a single. Gets off the mark. That brings Siddiqui, who's on 21. Off 15 balls with 1-4. He has a good strike rate of 140. Probably the best. Well, actually not the best. Zubair would have had a better strike rate today. I think he towed that.
Yeah, it looks like Witt offered up again. Bit of a toe, trying to hit it through covers. But yeah, geez, any runs at this stage just to keep it ticking over would be the main objective.
Yeah. 3 off this over. 1 ball remaining. Cork County 40 for 4 off 8.5. I think we have a stable stream now, which is fantastic. Bit shorter this time run, but well run by Cork County. They'll end the over 41 for 4.
So you can see straight away now there at the start of this over, the run rate was 7.3. It's now up nearly at 7.8. So you can see the effect that, not keeping up the run rate, and that's just going to have a domino effect as we go on,
Looks like Brandon Kruger is coming into the action. He's been in great form over the last few months, regularly taking wickets. And we have Adam Hickey right in front of us. And I would ask, Adam, would you move there slightly, please? Thank you very much. We'll take the catches. Zubair urging his players on.
Everyone up here now, fellas. Go up, boys. 5 and 6 here now, lads.
Francois easily pushes for one.
Yeah, it looks like I haven't seen him only for a few balls. A kind of a classical batter. Very correct, good technical operator. Just from first viewing, and just as I said, it just needs to be kind of taken over now. It'll be interesting to see where the run rate is at the end of this over. Seems to be heading towards a half increase every over from now. So if you forward the clock on, but if and I say if the run rate stays as it is, where they're kind of knocking it around for fives, it could be up as far as kind of nines in 2 overs time, and that's where it can get tricky then, because there's a lot of pressure on the batters then to do that.
Oh, nice reverse sweep now for a boundary. That is a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot by Siddiqui.
Absolutely super shot, and I'd say Brandon, if he had the ball back, would probably just bowl the same ball again, because you sometimes have to just give credit to the batter. Superb shot.
Absolutely. Good to see someone actually has the skill to do it.
Especially on a slow deck now, in fairness, in his favour. Siddiqui, Brandon does bowl quite slowly, so Dickey's shown all his experience here, to be fair to him. He took some risks in the power play. A minute we got out of the power play, he's kind of gone back down the gears temporarily. Obviously he feels his team needs a bit of a partnership here, and he's playing it beautifully.
It's 13. They've have a partnership of 13 now. Kruger fields off his own bowling.
And on the converse side of the run rate situation, you can see with the boundaries until the run rate has brought it back down again. So it works both ways.
One ball remaining in this over. We'll go through scorecard then. That's well played. Eight off that over. Off Kruger's first over.
Yeah, and you can see now clearly a kind of a template for County going forward, because the lack of pace means that you can't really knock it around as much as you would, so therefore the boundary is key. So like a boundary and over with 3 singles is probably the way to go from now on, I think, just for the next little period anyway. So
Cormac Hassett was caught by Jack Boss, bowled by Adam Hickey for 2. Abdul Gaffer, I think, was run out. Siddiqui is not out on 28. Benji Maris was run out by Adam Hickey for duck. Nabil Anjum was bowled by Adam Hickey, and Captain Ross Doherty was bowled by Matthew Brewster for 3. Francois is 4 not out. Turn to the action with Senan Jones back in. First ball is a full toss, and that's well fielded by Brandon Kruger. Might have picked up a slight injury there. They come back for 2. I think we might have a break of play. No. Siddiqui just let that ball come off his bat. It was well played.
There, you see, because of the wicket, so I think that's from Senna's perspective, that line looks quite good. If he keeps bowling that line, then Deaky probably has to do something that he probably doesn't want to do, which is go across the line. But at the same time, it's something that he's strong at. So 6-1.
That's it. Can't describe that ball.
That was, I think, the best way to describe that. It was so bad, it was unhittable.
Yeah. I think it was an attempted slow ball.
I think Ravi Ashwin there, the Indian spinner, came out years ago, well, not about 5 years ago, in print and Crick Info and said,
oh, that's well struck, but there's Jack Buses out there in the deep, and he'll good arm on Jack, straight back into Jones.
Yeah, Ashwin came out and said that a well-constructed over of bad balls is the way to go in T20 cricket. So in other words, what he's saying there is, when you bowl good balls, the batters tend to hit it for 6. But when you bowl low full tosses and half trackers, if you've got the fields in the right positions, they generally hit the bad balls straight to fielders, you know. So it's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, someone of his quality would come out and say that, but you can see where he's coming from. Deaky looks like he's blowing a bit here. You can see the stoop down. I'm not surprised. The veteran.
Slow reaction there by O'Keefe. I think he could have attacked that ball, but well worked by Francois for a single. And there's a nice crowd now sitting down in the Mardyke.
Great to see.
Yeah.
Good over again there for County. Rowney only jumped a little bit.
Take off.
Terrible over. Trying to be nice, Joe.
Edit. So 54 for 4 off 11 overs. Required run rate at about 8. And there's a change of bowler with Max Egan coming into the attack.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see how Max goes. I played with him yesterday in the 2s and he got 7 wickets. Bowled extremely well when the hit was on, so hopefully he can bring that confidence in to the game for Quins.
It's well fielded by O'Keefe.
Deaky getting twitchy. Something might have to give here. Again, weight back in the shot, back knee hitting the ground.
That tiredness, Ted?
Listen, who knows? I mean, he's shown everybody else how to bat in this wicket, I think, in fairness to him. Knock it around and hit your strong shots, so can't argue with him at the moment. Not surprised that he's tired.
And if you look back through the years now, he's actually been one of the most consistent T20 players that Cork County have.
Yeah. And I think the thing, again, people can learn from him is that he's very clear in his options.
County should pick up one. They're not pushing.
Yeah, but I think that's, and again, like, I've been wrong plenty of times in the past, and I'll be wrong plenty of times in the future, but I think that's an indictment on how much depends on these two to get it close and take it deep. Again, I could be wrong, but they're kind of medium risk at the moment.
And there was, I'd say he should have taken that. Kruger.
Oh, no, I think...
Do you think so?
It was short, there's no doubt about it. I think in these kind of games, again, you have to make decisions as fielders, and maybe the better option would have been to hang back and just stop the boundary.
A beautiful shot again. They're pushing for 2, and they'll get 2. Great running here by this pair.
Yeah, the game is so funny, to be fair, because like the first 3 balls, there was 1 off it, ended up with 7 off it. I think it's the first time the run rate has started and over at 8. So again, from a county perspective, again, I think you're happy enough at the moment. And from a Quins perspective, I suppose you look at the next 2 overs that are crucial in trying to get that run rate up to 9s and 9.5s. Dickey does look like he's struggling a little bit now, but he's tough as nails, that lad. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Zubair Hassan Khan will come on for his 3rd over. Siddiqui's on 38 off 28 balls with 3 4s, and his partner Francois is on 6.
If you look at Dickey's strike rate, he's by far, apart from Zubair, obviously that was just a lad teeing off, but if you look at the rest of the batters who were batted in the kind of top 5, 6, 7 for Quins and for County, his strike rate is far and above at 135 than the others. And I mean, on this wicket again, 135 is probably more like 160. Just shows you well it's managed, or how he has managed it.
And the fact, to be fair, like, he's only hit 3 boundaries. So it's the 1s and 2s that have made the majority of his score today. Francois happy with a single, which brings Siddiqui on strike.
Which is the right thing to do, in fairness, at the moment. Dickey's hitting it so well. Again, from a game management perspective, as long as Dickey keeps hitting those boundaries, Francois will continue to be happy to just rotate the strike and give it to him.
That's an incredible ball. Oh, that's so unlucky by Max Egan. Well guided down for a boundary.
Yeah, super shot again. Just using. He's got a bit more pace to work with now with Zubair bowling, and using that pace really well.
Cork County now picking up a boundary every over.
Yeah, and that's the key thing for them. If they do that, then it'll go deep one way or the other.
Run rate has come down from 8s down to 7.8. He tries again. He will get the single. Two balls left in this over. Francois just leans into that, just pushes it down the ground for a single. He's got nice technique, Ted.
Yeah, he's correct, isn't he? Yeah, vertical bat shot's very good. It'll be interesting to see now if he is forced to hit out a bit more where he goes. I assume he'll just stay correct and try and hit straight.
Good finish to the over for Zubair Hassan Khan. 7 off that over. And Cork County are 69 for 4 of 13. Still in the balance. You can see this going down to the last couple of overs, Ted.
No, well, I think it depends on how far these go. If these two can bat away for, the next 4 overs, let's say. It will go down to the wire, I think, and then if Quinn's can make some sort of a breakthrough and bring a new batter in, I think that kind of changes it for at least an over then,
So Brandon Kruger coming back on from the Mardyke Road end, or Mardyke Walk end, apologies. Kruger went for 8 in his first over. He needs to bring this down. A very well worked ball, but
dug that one out well.
Yeah.
Nearly a Yorker outside off, but he's just dropped the bat in it and forced it past the offside pincer for 1. If it was me, I'd probably drop short third back in the boundary and bring point up to cover that reverse sweep.
Yeah. Beautiful ball. Looks like a boundary, and it is. He's on form here. He picks up a boundary at the start of the over, which is what Cork County needed.
Especially at the start of the over, because it takes the pressure off the batters. Now they can afford to kind of drop down the risk, or the other school of thought, as you keep going.
Knock it around. Changing the field now to cover that. Hickey comes in tighter. Which opens the gap. Siddiqui's playing cat and mouse with these bowlers now, isn't he?
He's playing with the field, isn't he? Yeah. It's great to watch for anybody watching on the ground or on the stream. It's superb game management, and again sticking to his options, his strong options as a batter.
A welcome dot there for Kruger. 6 off the over, 2 balls remaining. He floats that, and that's caught there by Max Egan. Siddiqui tried to reverse, but he didn't get hold of it that well.
No, I think he hit it well, but the problem was there was no pace. Brandon took some pace off the ball, so Siddiqui, because of the lack of pace, had to basically kind of force it a bit more, and it's gone finer than he would have wanted, I think. Bit of a weird dismissal, to be honest with you. I think he hit it quite well.
It floated, though, right up into Egan's hands.
Superb innings by Dickey. Slapping very hard to get underneath that ball because of the length.
So currently, as we stand, it's 98 for 6 of 7.2. I don't know how long people were away from the stream. Sun comes down the wicket. Required run rate is 10.8. Kruger can't afford a boundary ball. But Francois now is starting to make his mark on the game. 25 off 34 with one boundary. Kruger lets out a roar as he got entangled with Sunnell.
Tensions are a bit high now. Understandably so. I would imagine something potentially might happen to this ball, Joe.
It's hit into no man's land by Sunnell, who will have a strike in the next over. And that's 1,801 for 6. I make it of 18 overs.
I think this is the over where, because of the short boundary, that this is going to be the crucial over.
I think Sunnell will need to come off strike fairly quickly.
I would. Sorry, Joe, I disagree. I think it's all hands to the pump now. Everybody has to go.
Right.
If you haven't got time, especially on a slow wicket like this is the one, well, the last over with the short boundary. So I think Cork County have to take advantage of it. You know.
They need only about 24, 25 off 2. We did say it would come down to the last few overs, Ted.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to watch. I mean, there's
Yeah.
probably about 50 people watching.
Oh yeah, big time. It's a good start to Zubair's over. He'll be happy with a single. Singles at this stage are gold for Cork Harlequins. They're all out protecting the boundaries.
He's looking behind him again. I wonder, is he going to go for another kind of a lap?
That's high in the air. O'Keefe under it and takes the catch. As you said, they had to go for it, Ted. Sunnell went for it there.
Yeah, and I think, look, the right option, right decision. Probably just gone underneath it too much, really, more than anything else. I just think it's still interestingly poised. Run rate heading towards 14 now, which is tough, but Zubair, in fairness to him, showed what you can do if you're prepared to back yourself and swing hard. So I think from County's perspective, it's getting it to the last ball no matter what, and still being able to win it in the last ball is the way to go.
And Harbinger Singh has come out. Francois is on strike. $103 for 7 off 18.3. Francois still happy to take a single. He hasn't played many risks, and he may, if they do lose, he may look back and go, I may have taken a few more risks.
My own thoughts on it would be this would have been the over because of the boundary to go for it. You know, to try and leave it down around, 10s, 12s for the last over.
Yeah. So 2 balls remaining. And a dot ball there. And a very good end to his over. Only 4 off that with 1 wicket. That leaves a target of about 20 for Cork County to win this game.
The great thing about his over there, to be honest with you, Joe, he nailed his Yorkers 4 out of 6, which is all you can want him, even at an international standard. If lads can bowl, hole or wide hole, then that's all you can ask for. And I think the decision for Senna now here is, will it be pace on or pace off? My own thoughts on it would be pace on, I think, and just go wicket to wicket, but what do I know?
Well, you should know a few things, Ted, to be honest with you.
But like the great thing about this is, like, the game is so funny, is that you would think that a certain way of bowling is the way to go. You bowl it and then it goes a distance, so sometimes it's not the way to go.
Well, here we go. Here comes the first ball. And there's an appeal for an LBW. The umpire says no. And they race through for a leg bye. Cork Harlequins will be happy with this. Five balls remaining. And the dot. Is that the death knell for Cork County, Ted? They're looking for 6s here now. Remember, this is a knockout competition, or not a knockout competition, it's only a league. So Cork County will pick up points here. They'll edge that down just for a single. At this stage, Cork County will pick up more than likely 5 losing bonus points. Cork Harlequins will take the win. So 2 balls remaining. Pace off again by Jones. Well bowled. Dot ball. 107 for 7. The required run rate is 114. But Cork County have a chance to strike back in the next game against UCC. They'll have one more game after the UCC game against Kerry, where Cork Harlequins will also have to play Limerick and Galway. And Rory O'Keefe attempts to catch that ball, misses, walks around it. They come through for the single, and that's the end of the game. And Cork Harlequins win by about 16 runs. A very good win there for Cork Harlequins, Ted.
Yeah, I think if you look back in the game now, you'd be kind of critical about maybe potentially how the Cork Harlequins top order performed. We said at the start 140 would be a good score, 120 would be defendable. And if you look at the way County kind of went about it when Dickey and Francois were together, the game was definitely in the balance, if not edging more towards Cork County. Could they have pressed the accelerator a bit earlier? That'd be the only thing I would say. But look, at the bottom line, is a good game of cricket. Any game of T20 cricket that goes to the last over is a good game of cricket, I think. I think, in fairness, for me, the Zubairs hitting at the end was the difference, because County were creeping towards the 100.
Both teams are clapped in. Ted, we had 2 good scores. Zubair Hassan Khan 46 and Siddiqui on 48. Is there a man of the match out of these two?
Zubair, it has to be. His hitting was the difference in the end, and I think that rang through and was the difference between the two sides. A great team performance in the field by Cork Harlequins. But Zubair's batting at the end was the difference between the two sides.
Yeah, Ted, thanks so much. Thank you for everybody joining us today. Apologies for the stream. I think we kind of corrected it eventually. I'll be back there in about a half an hour on a new stream with Cork County and UCC. So thank you so much, Ted. Appreciate it.
Delighted to be here.
Great stuff. Take care. Thanks. And so we leave it there, and join us later on for, I'd say, in about a half an hour for Cork County versus UCC. Thank you so much for joining.